Hey, what's going on YouTube? Lionel here, and this is my second review today. Hopefully, I can get to one more. Um, Before I start this one, I just want to talk about something briefly. It's funny, about a couple of years ago when I first started watching videos, um, the type of fragrances that were out there, Chanel Allure Homme Sport, John Varvatos, Bulgari, Aqua, and Soar, and let me see what else was out there then. What else was big? Lacoste, um, Kenzo, um, 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 you know, some of the Dior's, Fahrenheit, stuff like that. When I first started watching it, and then progressively, guys started getting into it, and I started seeing some more, unique fragrances start to come up, and didn't know where to find those things. I was in Dillard's and Macy's and those types of stores, and I couldn't find any of this stuff, and so I started Googling and figuring out, man, that these guys were, So when I first started watching, I didn't say much. I would go out there and buy a fragrance because, Tim or Mark or um, what's my man name? J.R. Ryder. Those guys would have a bunch of stuff out there. I would just run out and go buy Dolce and Gabbana, those types of things. Um, so then, you know, Dan comes along and some other guys come along, and then Mark started talking about his top 10 niche fragrances. And niche fragrance, what is that? Because typically, I don't shop in Nordstrom's or Neiman's or Saks or Barney's. I don't go to those stores on a normal basis, because I don't make that type of money to buy clothes from there. And plus, I was just kind of a rock aware. If I wear urban clothes or if I wear, street clothes, it was, rock aware, Sean John, Echo, um, those types of clothes. My dress clothes all came from, Dillard's, that type of stuff. So the only time I would go to an outlet and buy, some fairly nice shoes, a pair of Ferragamos or Kohans, um, maybe some shoes like that. I ain't gonna go into all that stuff. So I never really went to those types of stores. And matter of fact, I never knew they served. I never knew they sold fragrances. So I start looking, and now you go on to Facebook and you go to all the reviews, and that's all you pretty much see: Creeds and Andy Tars and Frappins, and those guys. So anyway, it's just kind of, I just put that out there to kind of talk about just the progression of fragrances, or the progression of just kind of the YouTube community. It kind of went from a few guys talking about some designer fragrances to now, you know guys reviewing Clive Christian and Royal Oud, and fragrances that's 450 milliliters. So needless to say, it's not bad. So that's, it's not a bad thing. It's just kind of odd to kind of see the progression. Took me a little while to buy into it just because I didn't see the benefit. But there are some fragrances out there that are expensive that I feel are really worth it. And one of those fragrances is from Tom Ford, and it is Amber Absolute. Now, this is a decant because I really can't afford the full bottle. Um, or maybe I can, but I won't be able to justify that with my wife when she wants the bathroom remodeled. So that's a no go there. So anyway, Amber Absolute, Tom Ford. Um, I'm trying to, I forgot when it was created. Let me see if I could go back to that. Okay, it was created back in 2007. Um, and it's from his private blend. There's quite a few of them now. I'm starting to hear a lot about Noir de Noir, Tuscan Leather. A lot of the women like. There's another one out there that the women like. Can't think of it right now. So anyway, Created 2007. And this, my friend, is a is a very, 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 very uh, lovely fragrance. It is an Oriental, and it is unisex. The notes are very, very simple. Incense, or amber in the heart. I mean, amber in the top, and then you pretty much kind of go to a base or a heart, and it's incense, vanilla, and olibanum, which is pretty much frankincense, which is sort of a sap racing type of note. Which now, what Tom Ford does very, very well is describe his fragrances with the notes um, that they include. This is exactly what this fragrance is. It is amber, it is incense, it is vanilla, and it is some type of sappy, deep, racinic type of note. Exactly what it smells like. And there is no top and there is no bottom really. The scent goes on. Immediately you get some rich amber, and then the vanilla, the incense, everything just joins the party within the first 15 minutes, and it stays there. And for the most part, the fragrance is very linear. Um, and that's not a bad. When people say linear, that's not a bad thing. It's just very, like at certain points, I can smell certain things. Initially, I smell the amber. Um, then the incense kick in, and then the vanilla makes it rich, and then it just gets richer and richer as it dries down. Just like, I mean, this behaves very much like tobacco vanille behaves. Tobacco vanille, you kind of get, honey and some tobacco. Then the tobacco dominates for a little while, and then the honey dominates, and then they just kind of come together for a big old party, and they're there. Exactly the same way Amber Absolute happens to me. For me, it's amber, then it's some incense, and then it's some vanilla incense, and then it just gets thick, rich, syrupy, and it is wonderful. Um, I'll give you the. So let me tell you, lasts all day. I haven't timed it, but I've never not smelled it. When I put it on one day, I've never not smelt it by the end of the day. I mean, literally, I'm showering, and the heat starts to make it come back up. So it lasts all day on skin, on clothes. You can forget it. You may have to wash that stuff 3 times. I have sprayed my clothes, but I'm telling you, you can't get it out. So whatever you wear, make sure you mark it on a calendar. You got some type of chart, because that's what you're going to be wearing for a while, because it's not going to come out. Um, Compliment factor. Here's a story. Put it on one day, and I went a little heavy on a sprayer. I had a Sally sprayer. Listen to me. If you're looking for a 7 milliliter, 8 milliliter atomizer little sprayer, listen. Go to Sally's. They're about $2, and they come in packed. They're like pink and purple and blue and white. Man, those things are wonderful. The sprayer on it is like Creed's freaking atomizer, or Dior's atomizer. I mean, it sprays and it's big mist, heavy mist. It is a wonderful, wonderful sprayer. It costs you about $2. Lasts all day, compliments all day. Um, One day I put it on, the next day somebody found it. Overall, it's a 5 out of 5. Well worth it. Peace.